So I started the game in New Babbage, a city on the icy world of Microtech. A visually stunning and highly detailed environment awaited me, and this was both a blessing and a curse, as this was the worst performing location I have visited in Star Citizen. On my Ryzen 5 3600 and GTX 1060, I can get by with low settings, but here in New Babbage there was definitely a lot more stutters and freezes. Nonetheless, this is a very immersive first step into the verse. In terms of the famed bugs, so far disconnections have occurred, but not so often as to ruin the experience. NPC glitching and behaviour is really where it is noticeable for me, but I found it easy to look past. We'll point out some of these bugs at a later stage though. The train rides in cities are really quite something, giving an enormous sense of scale to these places. I've not fully explored the extent of any ground locations I've visited, even after several days of play. But they are substantial and very visually interesting, with New Babbage looking and sounding like you're inside the mind of Steve Jobs. First stop on this line was to an expo centre with some kind of naval show in place. I wouldn't stay here long though, instead moving on to the Commons.
The UEE Navy would like to welcome you to the Invictus Expo Hall.
Forges on MacArthur. Recruits will push themselves to their physical and mental limits.
Star Citizen has a wide range of items to purchase and the mechanics to support them, such as hydration. I wasn't really looking for anything particular yet though, just admiring the view. When I spotted a sign directing me to service access, well, I just had to go check that out. The environmental effects are incredibly immersive, but it turns out New Babbage is really cold, and not fully understanding the warnings I was getting, I decided to head back inside and seek out my ship. Following another train ride, I arrived at the spaceport. Again, performance here wasn't perfect, but I found my way to the terminal and put in a request to retrieve my ship. I had to make an insurance claim to get it, but it turns out that claims are free with a short timer, or the timer can be skipped for a small fee.
For the latest updates on ship availability and gate assignments.
Then after being informed what hangar I need to go to, it was off to the elevator we go. The elevator travel in Star Citizen is quite varied, with many floors or locations usually available. Once in the hangar, I could look upon my current ship, the Mustang. Takeoff took some googling to find out I could change the ship's MFDs and contact ATC, but soon I was away.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Again, I am completely new to the game and have not really explored the flight mechanics at this point, let alone bound my HOTAS, so would be using mouse and keyboard for the first few days. Also, for some reason during this session a mouse cursor got stuck on my screen. It was incredibly distracting to play with it there, and I apologise if it is equally distracting to watch it. It only happened on this one session now, so future videos will be free of it. I was absolutely blown away by the views when I got to orbit. One thing that was not so nice though is I get very inconsistent degree of performance drop when using the quantum drive to jump between locations. Sometimes it's fine, others it becomes a slideshow or freezes up completely until I arrive at my destination. This being one of the latter occasions, we will rejoin things at one of Microtech's moons, where I intended to set down and have a look at the surface below.
Landing complete.
Immediately I was quite surprised to see atmospheric effects, wind and even debris flying by my canopy. Stepping out into this would be very interesting indeed.
All systems disabled.
I have no idea what kind of interactions can happen on these surfaces yet, but the quality of the environment is superb. I would stay a short while before setting off in the air to fly over the terrain and see its many features. One thing I can say about Star Citizen, even at this early stage, it sells the feeling of spaceflight like no other game I've played, with some truly mind-blowing yet quite simple mechanics we'll show later that really cement the whole experience. Again, I wasn't really pursuing any kind of goal here yet, just gauging performance and admiring the views. I recently upgraded my system within my meagre budget to do so, and this has allowed me to get the game running to a playable level. And I especially would like to thank Commander Soldier Sailor for his support in getting a suitable SSD to load the game from. Star Citizen is a game that is really reliant on loading from an SSD, so if you're looking to try it yourself and do not have one, make that one of your top priorities. Following this stopover, I would get several smooth quantum jumps, and when it is working, I far prefer this method of travel to Super Cruise in Elite. Very direct and with no time wasted. Even long journeys have interesting possibilities that we'll take a look at in a later video. My first day in the verse was drawing closer to its end. There was a lot to take in already, and so I needed to find a station to log off at. My current ship lacks a bed for logging off anywhere, and by all accounts the logging off in a bed mechanic is a little unreliable at present anyway. So off to a station we went. I find the mouse control used here both easy to use and also cumbersome at the same time. Easy to use, it is quite intuitive to initially pick up, but cumbersome in that I'm so used to flying ships with a stick and throttle. Star Citizen's flight mechanics are still a mystery to me. Questions like does it support full Newtonian flight assist off mode, I still need to answer. I have seen evidence of translational FA off, but as of yet not rotational FA off. These would be questions for a later time though, as I made my way through the station to the hab. All in all, my first day of Star Citizen was very enjoyable and exciting. I am fully aware that this is an incomplete game and an enormous level of work is still needed with it, with bugs we will look at more in the next video. But the bugs are things I'm able to look past, and the scope of player interaction is something that I personally feel is the future. I will be back very soon with my second day of the verse, but for now, I thank you for watching.